perfect throw from Jim McMahon.
A great throw from Jim McMahon, Tim, but Barnett's lined up a little wide. You see he's working along the sideline here. When the ball comes, he has to drift outside to catch it. 1 foot in, 2nd foot out of bounds. McMahon, of course, on that play, will take a look at it when he delivers the ball. It was knocked down. You very seldom see this. What happens to the quarterback after the delivery? There goes the ball, and there goes Jim.
Good job by Sangapulatelli, who drove the blocker right into McMahon. Just a hair late to stop him from throwing the football. McMahon 21 of 33, 302 yards. Gets good protection and now runs out of it. Dropped for a sack, 2nd of the day by the Browns, Michael Dean Perry. So the Browns get tough defensively on this down.
This is all instinct on McMahon's part. He's such a competitor. Richie Kotite said Jim McMahon is the toughest football player he's ever seen. And this is what he's talking about. Here's a guy who's coming in this game all beat up and battered, bad right arm, bad right knee, and watch this. Takes on Michael Dean Perry to get as much as he can for his ball club.
3rd down and 12, and the Browns badly want to stop him right here. Wide open in the middle. Calvin Williams. 1st down, Eagles to the 42-yard line. What do you do with this guy? Eric Turner made the stop. 17 yards on the play.
Just wonder what happened to the secondary, because they had the 6 defensive backs in the field. That the middle of the field never seemed to have opened up like that. Calvin Williams, number 89, coming from the outside of the formation, now comes across. It's a zone defense. Number 53, who should have been deep in that zone at the hook area, stepped up, and that's why it broke free.
Well, again, he's been just passing at will here against this secondary of the Browns, which has a number of key players out of it, certainly starting with Frank Minifield on the left corner. But the brilliance of McMahon finding those holes. James Joseph. All the way down to the 20-yard line. Forced out by Newsom. 1st down. Eagles driving again.
There goes Bo Peep again. We asked him where that name originated. We thought it was some tie to Bo Jackson because he played at Auburn there when Bo Jackson was there. He said, "No, when I was born, my father came to the hospital and he said, 'Where's little Bo Peep?' Well, there he is right there. He's all grown right now, Dad. 6 feet, 222 pounds, with the ability to break a lot of tackles. Number 32. I said 32 has a tremendous history here in Cleveland. Big game Monday night. Another big game today, Tim.
32 here, of course, with Jim Brown. That didn't seem to impress James Joseph. He's too young to remember him.
He didn't know it was, yeah.
1st down, Eagles. Keith Jackson dropped the ball. Jackson had the ball in his hand, started to turn upfield, and flat out dropped it.
It's a funny thing to see, but he had his hands turned the wrong direction. He wanted to have his left hand forward, right hand up with his little fingers touching. He had his thumbs up. Now watch, his hands are reversed here. He's not quite in position to make the catch. He'll turn his hands, see, opposite way. That's why they popped out. And Jim McMahon was also knocked down after he delivered that ball. Again, the Browns want to put as much pressure on him as possible. Pio hitting Jim late and
Pio
doing his job.
You're going with the easy way there.
That's right, right. You can say the last name. I know the first name.
Sangapulatelli. Beautiful Samoan name. 2nd down and 10. McMahon's got a man, but he can't get it to him. Short in 3rd down. And Calvin Williams wants an interference call, but Stephen Braggs is not going to get one. The ball came up short from McMahon.
It seems like every time McMahon throws the ball, somebody knocks him down. Now this time, we'll take a look at what happens when McMahon delivers the ball this time. Number 9 delivers. Here comes 57, Clay Matthews, the linebacker. The ball's away. That's a late hit. That's a late hit. If you're 1 step away, okay, you can make the hit. But if you're more than 1 step away, you have to ease off. That was a late hit.
There have been 2 or 3 of those, but you can imagine these guys are tremendously frustrated by what McMahon has been able to do to them today. Here's another big play, both ways, 3rd and 10. And Fred Barnett all tied up, and he'll get that call. Tied up by number 25, Anthony Florence. Lawrence, who was just activated this week, first-year man from Bethune-Cookman, off the practice squad, and he'll get the call for interfering with Barnett. Barnett so much appreciated the call by side judge Tom Finken that he gave him a little pat on the rump.
Number 25, spot foul, automatic first down.
No question about this, Tim. Again, he can't bump the receiver 5 yards upfield. Now here's Barnett trying to get there. Here's number 25, Anthony Florence. He really lost track of where the ball was. And that's why the contact took place, and he gets hit with the flag. Big play for the Eagles.
So a first down at the 6-yard line. First and goal, Eagles. The young, inexperienced secondary really getting a lesson today from McMahon. Joseph cuts it inside, drives his way to the 2. Richard Brown, the middle linebacker, number 52, made the stop. Second and goal.
This is the part of the field, Tim, where the Eagles like to run over their right side behind Anton Davis, their number 1 pick, is the right tackle, a monstrous man at 325 pounds or so. But Joseph, when he runs that off-tackle play, there's Davis right there, 6'4" and 325. He told me in the hotel lobby this morning, he said, I think I'm playing much better, Herb. He said, I've trimmed down a little bit. You mean trimmed down? How much do you weigh now? I'm about 320. 320.
Burnett, Pleasant, and Figueroa into the goal line defense of the Browns. Play action. McMahon for Keith Jackson. That'll be third down. Third down and goal. Rob Selby is in at right guard, number 75, the rookie from Auburn for the Eagles.
They had everything here, Tim. The ball was just a little long. And, McMahon said he was upset with his performance last Monday night against the Giants. He's really going to be upset with that one. Had him open and overthrew it.
Well, if you look back in this game, he's only thrown about 3 bad footballs. A couple he's thrown away deliberately. Third and goal. The Browns fans get into it. Coverage by Vince Newsom. So the Browns do the job, down deep in their own end.
Coverage by Newsom here, but really the field gets an assist on this one. Down that part of the field is a sod where the infield from the baseball diamond has been laid down. Maurice Johnson tripped a little bit as he ran out on that pattern, and Newsom had a chance to cover, and there you go, incomplete pass.
So the Eagles miss an opportunity to tie things up, but Ruzek can bring them to within 4. A 19-yard field goal, 4th of the day in that department by Roger Ruzek, 30-26.
Somehow, people have gotten the idea the new Toyota Paseo is a wildly exciting, sporty coupe.
It was quite a day for Bernie Kosar, and there's still lots of time left. 10:18 in regulation time. Eagles going 78 yards in 13 plays. 5:57 off the clock, but they got only the field goal with a chance to tie from in deep. The Browns defense tightening up on 2 passes into the end zone. Ruzek with 4 field goals today. That's a career high for him in a game. There's Danny Peebles, and he has been returning kickoffs very well here this afternoon.
I tell you, we have a game here, Tim, with a lot of career highs. Barnett having career highs with his receiving, and he has a cousin to Kansas City as a wide receiver. They compete against each other quite a bit.
Joe Morris does not bring it out, and so they'll start from their 20. Well, of course, the Eagles lost Ben Smith to self-inflicted injury, and they could use this guy perhaps. Maybe they could bring him back, get him into the game. Watch his technique here.
Oh, no. Where'd you guys dig that up?
Look at this. What an interception.
I bet he goes all the way.
I know you remember this.
Can you believe that? Sure I do. I can describe every detail of it. It was 3rd and 4 down there.
Yeah, well, what about this detail here? You were gasping going into the end zone.
Where'd you guys get that?
Hey, listen, we got people everywhere.
Oh, gee.
Okay, this is first down from the 20-yard line. Rick Cross in uniform out there. Kozer on first down. Webster slaughtered. And he picks up another first down to the 33-yard line. Izell Jenkins tripped him up, but Kozer continues to go into Ben Smith's spot. Jenkins playing there now in their base defense. And now Otis Smith in the nickel comes out on the left side.
The Browns are now under no-huddle offense, so the Eagles will have difficulty getting people in and out of the field as they see fit and making their substitutions. So
Kozer may changing this up. He's got 4 wides out. And he is sacked. Jerome Brown and Clyde Simmons. Simmons with that initial contact. And Joyner right behind him, not Brown, 59.
Yeah, number 59, Seth Joyner. What they do is they close everything down inside with that front 4. Number 92, Reggie White, the man putting on pressure right now. But 59, Seth Joyner, comes right up the middle from his outside linebacker position for the sack. And that's the kind of defense they need to get back into this game.
Indeed, Mike Golick, number 90, is in at left tackle. He rotates with Jerome Brown. Second down and 15. Kozer gets it off, incomplete, intended for Brian Brennan, and he takes a little hit from Jenkins as the ball arrives, and the Browns fans want interference there.
I think that ball might have been tapped at the line of scrimmage, though. It flooded out of there in a funny way. Once Kozer threw it, it looked like one of the defensive linemen might have hit it, and that's why, watch this now, the ball's out of there, I think 92. No, it doesn't. He didn't touch it, it just kind of flooded out of his hand.
The ball had already touched Brennan's hands before Jenkins made the contact, so no call there. Third down. Here comes Reggie White. Kozer with a nice move around him, but still in pursuit. White gets him. Third Eagle sack. Man, that big guy can move. Kozer made a pretty good move around him, and Reggie ran him down.
It's really funny. He said during the course of a game, he'll oftentimes go over to the tight end Keith Jackson and say, am I physical enough? Am I physical enough? Because he wants to play at the top of his game. He says, I'm playing pretty good football this year, but I know I can raise my game another level. That's awesome when you think of that. This guy is one of the greatest defensive ends of all time, and he thinks he can get better.
8:49 remains to play as Hansen will punt the ball, and the Eagles will have another opportunity here, and this time a chance to take the lead. Harris back. Good field position. That ball hangs up a little bit. Fair catch signal. And it takes an Eagle bounce. It just dies right there. So Philadelphia will start from their own 48-yard line when we return.
You bought a what? For a dog? Well.
Tim Ryan with Irv Cross, and there's just the way it is out there. Pio Sangapo, I had it going there. Sangapulatelli showing the scrapes of battle. With a flea flicker. McMahon doesn't have a man open. Now he unloads it in the direction of Williams, but he may get called for intentional grounding. And he does. McMahon will say there was a receiver there, but he definitely unloaded there because he was being pursued by Perry and was trying to avoid the sack. That's the way the officials see it. Richie Kotite says, hey, Calvin Williams had a chance to be the receiver. So there's a huddle. part of Howard Rowe and his staff.
Intentional grounding. Quarterback, 10-yard penalty. Lost it down. He was throwing the football to keep from losing yardage. Second down.
Take a look here. We've got a receiver down here and a receiver, the tight end, who releases it, comes forward. McMahon, when he gets caught in the scramble, watch to see now the ball is tossed off back to him. Now only there are two receivers, but the guy he's trying to hit is coming across field here. That's where the ball is being thrown. Now the ball was certainly 4 yards away from the receiver, but there was a receiver there, and McMahon thought he got a bad call. I think he got a bad call too.
Well, of course, it says if they judge that you're throwing it away to avoid being sacked, you get penalized. And he certainly had Michael Dean Perry chasing him as he unloaded that pass. Slow developing because of the handoff. And then the pitch back to McMahon made the routes slow developing.
They're trying to determine where to spot the ball here.
Original line of scrimmage was at the 48-yard line, and that's a 10-yard penalty, so it goes back to the 38-yard line. Second and 20.
Barnett lined up over the center, breaks everybody down. It's sort of like a secondary flow here. Now he's free, and here he comes right up the pike with a sack. Barnett's a pretty good sized fellow, 270-pounder. That's his second. He has 2.5 sacks now in the season for the Browns. And what a time to get it. This is what McMahon has been facing all day.
Well short of the first down. Of course, the Eagles weren't really going for it there. Just wanted to get something back, punt the ball, try and stop Kozar. Jeff Fiegels has done it only twice in this game. Has the wind with him. Sometimes.
That's right. It swirls in the stadium, so you never know which direction he's going to be going when he kicks.
Yeah, he had it for sure. Look at that. From the goal line, Slaughter, they drive him into the end zone, and loose ball, still loose, covered by the Eagles. First down, Philadelphia. A flag down, but after the play was dead. Britt Hager, the man to come up with a loose ball. 62-yard punt by Fiegels. Now, ostensibly, the worst thing that can happen to Philadelphia here is an infraction after they get the ball.
Bad judgment on Slaughter's part, Tim. You stand on the 10-yard line as a punt returner. If you have to take one step back, let the ball go in the end zone. Now, the Browns have a little problem this weekend with punt returns because Eric Metcalf would normally be back there to return kicks for him. He's out injured, so now Slaughter is back there, who seldom returns kicks, is doing that job today, but he exercised poor judgment back there, and the Browns now are really in a hole. Webster Slaughter trying to come up with a big play to make something happen. Just use bad judgment. The rule of thumb is you line up on the 10-yard line. If you have to take one step back, let the ball go, because chances are it'll go in the end zone for the touchback. Slaughter gets caught in there, coughs it up. It looks like the Eagles are going to have it inside the 5.
Well, the flag that came after the Eagles had recovered the ball. Britt Hager, reserve linebacker. So we'll see what happens here. They may not have it in as deep as they're going to have it, but it should be Eagles ball based on the sequence of events.
Now the Eagles will have the football. They're trying to determine just If there was a foul, what the foul was and where the ball should be spotted.
Yeah, I wonder whether this ball would have gone into the end zone. It was a tremendous punt.
But no, it would have gone into the end zone.
Certainly
See, he caught it over his head. Now
he's on the goal line.
He's in the end zone now. So the ball would have easily gone into the end zone for a touchback. So he would have had the ball on the 20-yard line. But you just didn't know where he was. And again, the rule of thumb is you stand on the 10-yard line. If you have to take one step back, let it go. It's going to go in the end zone for the touchback. And Slaughter just exercised very poor judgment.
Well, now
we had an illegal block on the return, number 42. Penalty is declined because we got a fumble and recovered by Philadelphia. First down.
Well, so the penalty was going to be against Cleveland, Lattenberry, for an illegal block on the return of the punt. We thought the penalty might be against the Eagles, so it turns out very well for Philadelphia. First and goal at the 2-yard line of the Browns. 6:54 still to play, fourth quarter. A 4-point deficit, and the Eagles knocking on the door. Good defensive job by the Browns, stuffing the run. Richard Brown straightening up James Joseph.
Pretty impressive play. The Browns in their goal line defense, Tim, will have their 4 men down on the line of scrimmage. They'll pinch inside, and the middle linebacker, Richard Brown, is responsible for taking those off-tackle plays. And that time, he did a whale of a job.
Second and goal. Sherman hit again. Michael Dean Perry and Cedric Figueroa, reserve linebacker from Notre Dame, picked up on waivers from Indianapolis, and they use them in this goal line defense.
You want to tell if a team is winning or losing at the goal line situation. When backs get hit and go backwards, the defense wins. Now, 2 successive plays, the Browns have driven the Eagles backwards.
And the Eagles otherwise have played very well up front offensively today. Alexander, Solt, Davis, McKnight, Keller, Selby, and Hudson. And right now, the Browns fired up. Touchdown! Kelvin Williams, and the Eagles lead for the first time in the game. Jim McMahon delivers again.
That was a tremendous throw, Tim. He threw that ball before Calvin Williams cleared behind the linebacker. 1, 2, 3. You just let it go and let Williams run to it. Again, great anticipation, great ability to read defensive coverages. McMahon knew right away on his second step where he wanted to go with the ball and hit a strike.
Huzek for the point after. It's blocked. Wow, there's a lot of fight in both these teams today. There are no routine plays. 5:19 remains. The Eagles on top by 3.
Working to be the best they can be.
Eagles drops it in the end zone. He will not bring it out. And the Browns will start from their 20. Now the key play for the Browns, the block of the point after try, and keep an eye on defensive end number 90, Rob Burnett, who will come up the middle, the big guy.
Right over the center, number 90. Yeah, he breaks through and then leaps and blocks that ball, and big play.
So Kozar now 14 of 29 on the day. After a torrid beginning, the Eagles have made life a little more difficult for him in the second half, and plus the Eagles have had the football most of the second half. Kevin Mack gets about 3 on first down. Ozart's blocked at at the line. It looked like Reggie White got a hand on it. Number 92.
Reggie White, in addition to being an outstanding defensive player, is also an author, Tim. He's written a book called The Reggie White Touch Football Playbook. And the proceeds from the sale of that book that he has out goes towards a home he has down in Maryville, Tennessee, that he and his wife opened up for unwed mothers. I know about it because I happen to write some things about this book, and I can read what I wrote about it, but I won't tell you, except that I know that he has this touch football book out. He's pretty excited about the home he has down in Tennessee.
That's terrific. He's a terrific guy in every way. Third down. And it is incomplete. Intended for Brian Brennan. A little high. Tampa Bay got its second victory of the season, 30-21 over Detroit. Lions, of course, without Rodney Peete, but with Eric Kramer as their starter. There's a Kevin Mack limping off. Fourth down, so the Eagles stop the Browns' offensive sortie here with 4:36 remaining. Ward Harris doing the counting back there, awaiting the punt from Hansen. Hansen had a pretty good rush on it. Bearcat signal at the 31-yard line. Another good punt from Hansen, 46 yards into the wind. So now it's up to the Browns defense. Get that ball back as they trail. Washington beating up on Atlanta. New Orleans and San Francisco 10-3 with backup quarterbacks in action there today. Look at this.
Houston came back.
Wow.
Houston came back.
2 minutes left in that one. And there's a Danny. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. The Bengals obviously coming back a little bit with a good win over Cleveland a week ago. Feeling better about themselves. Buffalo now, after trailing Green Bay early, has gone ahead. And the Colts win a game, beating the Jets.
Without Dickerson.
First down. Eagles from their own 31. And throwing on first down to Johnson, the tight end. Maurice Johnson. And he fights his way for an extra yard. Pickup of about 6. Newsom.
Really a great story of this guy, Tim. Maurice Johnson had been cut twice by the Eagles in 2 successive training camps. And last year, after they let him go, he was running around town trying to find a job with the Postal Service. His mother had something lined up for him just at the time he was called to come back to the Eagles, because Mickey Schuler, who was a tight end there as a backup tight end behind Keith Jackson, went down with an injury. They called Johnson back, and here he is now in this Eagle lineup, and he's even started for him somewhat in a few games.
He's out of Temple, which makes Bill Cosby happy. And
yeah.
Stan Hochman did a funny column on Cosby recently as we watch Braggs being helped off the field. Yet another secondary man goes down. Bill Cosby was empathizing with Jim McMahon taking all those hits out there in front of a young offensive line. He said he'd volunteer to come in and quarterback the Eagles with all the problems they're having with injuries. He said, I've got the body of Sonny Jurgensen, the arm of Terry Bradshaw, and the brain of Warren Moon. But meanwhile, they haven't signed him. I think McMahon's doing all right. Myers battles for about 3. Leaves second and 4. Brown secondary continues to get to be battered. Anthony Florence has come in for Stephen Braggs on the right corner. Braggs is in there for Hilliard. Hilliard has played a little bit today, but he's got a groin pull. Claiborne and Harper, 2 more corners, are on injured reserve. Minifield out the left corner with an injury. Third down, 3. Wide open is Roy Green for a first down, Eagles. Now, Green hasn't been out there too often, but if you're looking for a guy to get you third down, he's not a bad choice.
There he is on third down, 3 receptions for 3 first downs. Every time a third down comes up, this was last week against the New York Giants, the Eagles needed it, he came up with it. Richie Kotite told us last night that, Roy Green's getting up in age a little bit now. We found the perfect way to use him as a spot player. He doesn't have to be in there every play and get run down. He's a 13-year veteran, and on third down plays, he is terrific.
3:02 on the clock and a timeout on the field. The Eagles with a first down and a lead. And coming up after our NFL Today post-game show, CBS Sports will bring you the final round coverage of players over 40 competing in the Amoco Centel Championship from Hilton Head National Golf Club in Hilton Head, South Carolina. Jim Nance, Ben Wright, Curtis Strange, Bobby Clampett, and others will be there to bring you that action today in a special golf tournament, 4:30 Eastern. And, of course, we'll have an NFL Today post-game show at the conclusion of our telecast of this exciting game from Cleveland Stadium. Now the Browns, having surrendered a 23-0 lead, trailing by 2, have simply got to stop the Eagles here for any chance to win. 3:02 on the clock. Nowhere. Good defensive action. Anticipating Michael Dean Perry, Richard Brown. Loss on the play of about a yard. And another timeout taken by the Browns. 2:56. This defense has been out here a long time today, Irv. It's certainly been a factor as the game has gone on. Well, next week we're going to have doubleheader action for you here on CBS Sports. Joe Gibbs and the Washington Redskins. Looks like they'll be 10-0. And they are playing beautiful football with great pass receiving from Gary Clark and his teammates, making Rippon and company the talk of the NFC. And that's next week, our first game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. You'll see the Redskins. Doubleheader day, and it all begins with the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern, the last word before kickoff. 2nd and 11. And sideliner complete, and a good defensive play again by the Browns. He's down. Calvin Williams made the catch, but Randy Hilliard out there on the left side didn't let him get loose. So a gain of maybe 5 on the play. It'll leave 3rd and 7.
The Eagles have to be thinking here now, if we can get a first down, we can run the clock out and win this football game. The Bears and the Browns, on the other hand, have to be thinking, let's take the ball away. You know, we have to set up good field position for our offense, or if possible, have the defense take the ball away and score ourselves.
Browns take another timeout, and that is their last. This game presented by authority of the National Football League. The CBS telecast intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use without the express written consent of CBS, the Cleveland Browns, and the National Football League is prohibited. 3rd down at midfield. And the Browns simply have to make the play. 3rd and 7. Barnett had the coverage, number 37, the second-year man from Michigan State. And it looks like he's going to be whistled. He is for interference.
That's the ball game. If he's caught for a foul here, the Eagles line up with an automatic first down.
Defensive pass interference, number 37, spot foul, automatic first down.
We'll take a look at it on the replay to find out just what happened. Number 37, you can't see him in the frame here yet, but 88 in the top right. Here he is working against Keith Jackson. Really, Wisconsin, again, he can't, once the receiver comes 5 yards upfield, you really can't contact him. And Harlan Barnett stayed with him. Yeah, I do. He was a little deeper than 5 yards, and I agree with that call. It was a tough call for him, but he gets the flag.
At the spot of the foul, first down. Joseph running it now, wrapping it up with 2 hands, and the Browns all over him. He got just to the line of scrimmage. Eric Turner, the UCLA rookie. Tony Blaylock putting the stop on the Auburn rookie.
Tim, talking to Rich Kotite last night, I asked him if he had any particular memories about Cleveland, because he was an assistant coach here a few years ago, and he said, you know, one of the things I remember most about Cleveland is I had my brain surgery here. You know, he had a problem with his brain, and there he is. He said, I have a lot of friends here. The brain aneurysm he had, and he had an operation here, and a lot of the people from the hospital come over even now to visit with him, and a lot of them are here at the game today as a special guest. He said, I'll never forget Cleveland.
We've reached the 2-minute warning. 32-30, Eagles on top.
You made me love you.
Been a key player here today and has had himself a career afternoon with 4 in one day. Joseph, about 3 or 4 yards. Third and 7 from the 39-yard line. Jim McMahon, 26 of 43, 341 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Tim, but the most important stat for Jim McMahon is he played the game from beginning to end. Came in here with a bad arm, and we know last night when we saw him, he couldn't even raise his right arm. And he's out here now playing a football game.
We're down 7. And they'll keep it on the ground to Joseph again, and the Browns rise up to meet him right at the line of scrimmage. They might give him about a half a yard on forward progress. And we're under a minute. 4th down. Punting unit comes on the field for the Philadelphia Eagles. Seconds and counting down. That's the play clock you're seeing there. It's down to 9 seconds, and Eagles may just let it go all the way to 0 here. Take a penalty and back it up a little bit. That's what he's going to do. So 19 seconds of playing time left. For the Philadelphia Eagles, they'll get to 500 at 5-5 and remain with a shot at a wild card. For the Cleveland Browns, their hopes are dim. They fall to 4-6, and they're behind a number of teams in the AFC in the wild card department.
Go, man.
Well, the Browns have had difficulty with NFC East teams. They haven't beaten one yet. They played the Giants, lost to them, and of course lost to Washington, and now here's a loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, we have a few seconds left on the clock here yet, but looks like it may end up that way. And next week, Philadelphia has Cincinnati at home.
Well, nonetheless, you can see the direction they're headed in under young Bill Belichick, their first-year head coach. Eagles gets it away as the Browns went for the rush, of course, and he gets it into the end zone with 11 seconds left. They stop it with 10, so it'll be Hail Mary time for Kozar from the 20-yard line. But this team playing with a lot more spirit and spunk, and I think the feeling is in Cleveland that, well, they may not make the playoffs. They are headed in the right direction.
If you're in the Eagles secondary right now, Tim, you want to give number 1, Michael Jackson, an awful lot of room. He's the man who can really go the distance for the Cleveland Browns, and it's kind of funny how they picked him up when he went down to southern Mississippi to scout him. They had gotten his name mixed up with someone else's, and they thought he was 5'10" or something like that, 180 pounds. It turns out he's 6'4", 195, and runs about a 9.700. And here he goes.
Kozar throws it out in the flat for Langhorne, hoping to perhaps cross up the Eagles with a shorter pattern and turn Langhorne loose. They stop the clock out of bounds with 5 seconds left.
You watch this play, the Eagles linebackers look like they're lined up about 20 yards from the line of scrimmage. The deep backs are even further back than that. They have a 3-man rush, and the first wall of defenders that Kozar will see are the linebackers, who are literally at 15 yards off the ball, and the deep backs are about 25 yards deep.
Gosar here's this one out. Jackson is the deepest man, and it's out of bounds. And that'll do it. So the Philadelphia Eagles, trailing 23-0 in this game, come back with the brilliant leadership and play of Jim McMahon to defeat the Cleveland Browns 32-30, and they get to 5-5 on the season, coming off their Monday night victory over the Giants. This guy puts on a bionic man performance at quarterback, gets an excellent day again from the offensive unit along the front for the Philadelphia Eagles. And
all right, again, he gets a little help this time as Noble spins him back to the inside, but Noble has to make this tackle one-on-one. That's his man, that's his responsibility. And again, the strength of Byers gets upfield.